Dear Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We'll be starting now, and we'll play the World Food Forum anthem for you.
Are we listening? Are we planting seeds and finding better ways to build a better world? Find a better way to build a better world. Oh, there's a brand new generation. Oh, for a brand new healthy world. Yeah, yeah, for a healthy world. Yeah. All together now, we are reaching out and finding better ways to build a better world. We find a better way to build a better world. Oh, there's a brand new generation. Oh, for a brand new healthy world. Yeah, yeah, for a healthy world. Oh, there's a brand new generation. Oh, for a brand new healthy world. Yeah, yeah, for a healthy world.
Wow, what a song! Lonnie Park and Ricky Cash get me all the time. My name is Ann-Kathrin. I'm from the International Fund for Agriculture, IFAD.
I am Michelle, and I'm from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations.
And I'm Rodrigo. I'm from the World Food Program.
And together we present the youth networks of the Rome-based agencies, also known as the RBAs.
But before we get started, I'd like to share a few words on behalf of the RBA Youth Networks.
While last year the Wolf Forum invited young people from all over the world to reflect on and act for a better life, this year's call is even stronger, and we, the youth of the world, are saying that there's no better life without a healthy planet.
A place where we can continue living our dreams, setting our goals, and making a difference. A place where food is produced in a sustainable manner, where food is affordable and nutrient-rich. And from what happened here this week, you all know that to achieve what we need, we had to consult everyone and gather insights from different fields, such as nutrition, agriculture, climate research, but also innovation and technology. Just 2 words: impressive work.
Well, indeed, and on behalf of the young people working for the World Food Program, I have to say that the world we live in is still far from healthy and safe. Every day, young people continue to lose opportunities because of conflicts, wars, natural disasters. And although we may continue facing these challenges in the future, platforms such as the World Food Forum keep us motivated to continue working for a food-secure future for the young generations.
That's right, Rodrigo. And if a food-secure future is what we want, as a young person working for IFAD, I can't emphasize enough that we need to call for more opportunities for young people, that we need to invest in young people, and that we need to give them the possibility to access credits and investments. In doing so, we can help them to fully realize their potential. And also, the transformation towards the resilient agri-food systems that we want to happen can actually happen.
Indeed, Anne-Catherine, our current food system is in dire need of a change, and to enable affordable, safe, and nutritious diets for the global population, and more importantly, for the future generations. That's why young people at the Food and Agriculture Organization and throughout the world think and act out of the box.
Guys, the direction is very clear. Now we must translate all those efforts into concrete projects and policies. And we should not forget that a healthier planet is both our responsibility but also our opportunity.
These past days have been a whirlwind of exciting innovation, new connections, and partnerships, and above all, problem solving. It's really mind-boggling how much has been accomplished.
Well, in addition to the 3 international fora, the WFF Global Youth Forum, the FAO Science and Innovation Forum, and the FAO Hand-in-Hand Investment Forum, this year's World Food Forum had more than 100 core sessions, hundreds of side events, over 2,000 people here joining us in Rome, but also connected around the world. And this is just amazing.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, it's not everything, right? Actually, we had a whole year of lead up to this event. We had so many initiatives happening, countless events, consultations, and competitions in regions all over the world.
But beyond the numbers is the outcomes of all these activities, and most important, having discussions on the actionable solutions and way forward that we as youth can work together, but also with the allies with us here today, carrying forward the partnerships that were forged here today and this week, and that will reveal the impact of all the work that we have to come to do together.
Well, implementation is super important for whatever was discussed in this forum. And while the momentum created by the World Food Forum is really at its peak, now it's more important than ever that we keep the energy going and actions moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, today we're closing the flagship 2022 event, but then the movement will continue to grow. The World Food Forum is not only an event, it's a platform, and it will expand and evolve year over year. As the Director General of FAO, you yourself, put it recently, the World Food Forum is designed for the future.
In this closing ceremony, we will be discussing the key outcomes of the past 5 days and the paths forward to a better food future for us all. But before we delve into these outcomes, let's take a moment to look at the amazing journey that brought us here where we are today.
Yeah, we'll now play a video, and it's a short video highlighting how far we have come and also how far we can go.
In 2021, the first ever World Food Forum brought together thousands of young changemakers and partners, all with the shared vision of transforming our agri-food systems for a better food future for all. This year, the World Food Forum centered around the theme, Healthy Diets, Healthy Planet. From the 17th to the 21st of October, we hosted the World Food Forum Global Youth Forum, the FAO Science and Innovation Forum, and the FAO Hand-in-Hand Investment Forum. With over 2,000 in-person attendees and tens of thousands connecting from across the globe, participating in assemblies, cultural activities, and more. We brought together global leaders, youth, investors, scientists, indigenous peoples, and partners to foster dialogue that sparks lasting change. Our journey has just begun. 2023 will be the year of action, turning ideas into impact. We will be more inclusive, with youth voices in global decision-making tables, with science, technology, and innovation at the forefront, with inclusive investments, leaving no one behind. This world is ours to inherit, so now it's our turn to fight. This is the World Food Forum.
Wow. What a powerful video and a powerful message. The future of food is indeed in our hands, which brings us to our first outcomes discussion, the outcomes of the WFF Global Youth Forum. Let me tell you that this segment is at the very core of what we discussed here at the World Food Forum. It's one that is about, and it's very important, it's one that's about the future, as we said, but also very important to me as a member of a youth network in my organization. Because every roundtable, every event that took place this week has enabled youth around the world to continue doing more. And I now hand the stage to Juan David Caro Alvarez from WFF Focal Points Group, Jessica Vega, she's an indigenous Mixteca and Global Indigenous Youth Caucus Advisor for Latin America and the Caribbean, and Lisanne von Hoost-Hood, WFF Champion and EU Climate Ambassador. Please, you can take the stage. The floor is yours. Thank you. We're just waiting for the third member of the panel. She's coming. Okay, I think we all deserve another round of applause for the picture. Thank you so much.
¿Se escucha? Sí. Buenas tardes con todos y todas los presentes. Mi nombre es Juan David Caro, yo soy de Colombia, soy Focal Point para América Latina y el Caribe, junto a mi colega Nicolás Donque. Agradezco la oportunidad de estar aquí. Bueno, resumir el trabajo de meses es muy difícil hacerlo en 2 minutos, pero voy a intentarlo. Este año se lanzó el grupo de puntos focales del World Food Forum. En ese sentido, con 10 colegas, activos colegas, hemos trabajado en un plan regional de acciones para la asamblea anual. Hemos trabajado desde lo que se hizo el año pasado, agregando matices globales a nuestras peticiones, integrando las visiones locales y los problemas que son bien diferentes en cada región. Gracias a esto y a esta oportunidad de estar acá, hemos logrado conocer muchas perspectivas, interactuar con muchas personas, jóvenes, de diferentes sectores y áreas, y eso nos ha ayudado también a enriquecer nuestras propuestas. De esta manera, nosotros no solamente estamos quejándonos, también ya tenemos propuestas. Estamos trabajando en propuestas claras y concisas, como por ejemplo, la necesidad de apoyar, valorar a nuestros compañeros y compañeras indígenas, mujeres, granjeros, pescadores, entre otros. Además, la necesidad de generar espacios como estos y más para que podamos conectarnos como jóvenes en un diálogo intergeneracional. Necesitamos más espacios como estos para que las personas podamos expresar nuestras opiniones y también nuestras necesidades, y de esa manera poder tener propuestas de políticas públicas claras. Además, hemos tenido varias asambleas por cada región donde he visto a algunos de ustedes, pero hubiese querido ver a más personas, a más inversionistas, más personas del ministerio para que pudiéramos tener estas discusiones intergeneracionales. Esta semana ha sido muy retadora, pero creo que hemos cumplido con un objetivo, y es traer nuestras voces de las personas que nosotros representamos. Es necesario que creemos espacios donde las capacidades, el desarrollo de capacidades blandas, y no solo ellas, como también las capacidades para generar políticas públicas, las podamos aprender. No nos pueden pedir resultados de la noche a la mañana si nosotros también estamos recién aprendiendo muchas cosas nuevas. Yo tengo mis estudios en zootecnia, pero me encanta también poder aprender sobre política y demás, pero necesitamos más espacios como estos, ¿no? Y necesitamos espacios de creación de capacidades, de desarrollo de capacidades. Hemos tenido asambleas, por ejemplo, del CFS sobre la COP27, y hace unos minutos estábamos teniendo otra asamblea sobre agua y derechos de la tierra. Hasta el último día trabajando nosotros. Eso quiero que lo dejen claro. Nosotros estamos trabajando, queremos traer estas propuestas claras para que ustedes sepan cómo nos pueden ayudar. Pero también acérquense a nosotros. Nosotros no podemos solo estar buscándolos. Tenemos que ver también que ustedes quieran acercarse y hablar con nosotros, ¿sí? Por eso quiero decir, y este es mi último comentario, trabajemos juntos, porque juntos somos más fuertes.
Thank you for my colleague. I think I will stand because I would like to start with a question actually to you all. I would like to ask you all to raise your hand if you've learned something new from another person this week. That's lovely to see because at least I did. I learned by walking here in the hallway, talking to people from traditional cultures. I learned so many different new ways of thinking, new values, new cultures. And I wish we could have that more here in this space, actually. I experienced so much energy, passion, and creativity, and examples how we as youth can be really powerful, open-minded, working together, brainstorming, but also express our concerns about urgency, about our place here in this room. And I would like to express with you the lessons that I have learned together with all of the group of youth here, but also from actually many other conversations I had this week, and about how we can move that forward. First, I believe we should have more moments where we, together, intergenerationally, can come together. Not having two separate rooms, but integrate it all together, because I think we have a shared passion, otherwise we wouldn't sit here. We want to move forward, we want to bring action, we want to be empowered, and I think if we can bring this more to this room, then we can create even more power. And I think that could only be happening if you let us be here as a participant, as a partner, or as maybe even as a stakeholder, and let us learn from you, but let you also learn from us, because we have experience we can share together. Second, I would also like to reflect a little bit on ourselves. I think these weeks, and I do it myself as well now here on stage, was filled with beautiful words, statements, policies, but I think that's the easy part. It's easy just to express words, though I'm a little bit nervous, but still it's easy. The hardest part starts when you walk out of this room and you have to start acting, you have to start doing. So I would like to ask you as well, when you walk here out of this room, to the airport perhaps, as I will, take the themes that you've spoke about last week, but also this week. Take them home, take them to your local community, or if you stay here, take them to this stage, and try to think every time, how can I make a difference? What can I do talking to a young person? Or as a young person, approach
your government, your municipality, and really try to make a difference, as small as it might be, but creating it all together can create a big movement. That's the second part. And then I hope that if we can start next year at World Food Forum, we can already say, the past year, we've done so much. We have done so much actions together by creating this safe, passionate space in this room, and also on a local level. Thank you.
Bueno. Muchas gracias, excelencias, hermanas y hermanos, a las y los abuelos, a la Madre Tierra, al Padre Sol. Gracias 1, 2 y 3 veces por permitirnos las palabras el día de hoy. Nosotros, los jóvenes indígenas de las 7 regiones socioculturales de los pueblos indígenas, estamos aquí y aquí seguiremos para reafirmar con respeto que somos resistencia, somos lucha, somos historia, somos memoria, somos nuestros ancestros, somos el futuro. Por eso, las voces de la juventud indígena deben ser escuchadas por los gobiernos, por las agencias y la sociedad, para realmente incluirlas en las políticas y hablar de la transformación de los sistemas alimentarios contra el hambre. Nosotros somos más que guardianes, somos los protectores de la Madre Tierra, el planeta que todos habitamos. Pero es urgente que se reconozca y apoye sus sistemas de producción, su cocina tradicional, sus conocimientos como ciencia, para crear esas técnicas de innovación que estén en armonía con los ciclos de la Madre Tierra y no ser solo los depredadores de ella, porque ella nos los da y nos los brinda con amor. Nos han limitado y restringido de nuestras prácticas tradicionales, pero son solo mecanismos de extracción los que han inventado en que una manzana o un aguacate o la linaza son apropiadas, y no es que no lo sean, sino que eso hace que las grandes empresas de exterminación tengan pensamientos capitalistas y descuiden los sistemas alimentarios tradicionales. Mucha gente ahora busca los suplementos alimenticios en muchos productos, pero los jóvenes indígenas sabemos que están en nuestra alimentación. El Boazú estuvo durante una semana y es un claro ejemplo que para nosotros los sistemas alimentarios van más allá de lo que solo se sirve en el plato. Es espiritualidad, es identidad, es cultura, es conexión, es territorio, es el agua, es la vida. Eso es mi visión alimentaria. Porque cada uno tenemos una visión en este presente, desde nuestras regiones, desde nuestra localidad, desde lo comunitario, desde nuestros procesos generacionales. Por ello debemos recordar que si no queremos dejar a nadie atrás, nosotros debemos ser también los primeros, como un eje central de acompañamiento en todos los procesos para salvaguardar los sistemas alimenticios. Entonces, apoyemos la innovación de las juventudes indígenas para hablar de una mejor producción. Mantengamos vivas las dietas indígenas para una mejor nutrición. Respetemos los ciclos de la Madre Tierra para un mejor medio ambiente. Y recordemos que nuestros alimentos son parte de nosotros para lograr esa mejor vida. La Madre Tierra está enferma. El conocimiento indígena es la cura. Los jóvenes indígenas somos medicina. Nuestros sistemas alimentarios son los caminos. Únanse a nosotros. Únanse a nosotros. Director general, únase a nosotros.
Can you do the sign with them?
Ah, no, he's coming.
Ay, ay, ay! Uy, ay, ay! Uy, ay, ay! Uy, ay, ay!
Únanse a nosotros.
Wow. Thank you very much, everyone. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much. I, like everyone else, out of words. What a beautiful moment to witness here. Thank you very much, youth leaders, for your words, for your asks. So much clarity, so much dedication, so much passion coming out of my young fellows. Thank you very much. And we hear you. We are united. Estamos unidos a vosotros. And the world is listening right now. Thank you for committing to fighting for a better future for all.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Rodrigo. And part of committing to the future is being inspired to shape it. And there are many ways to do this. There are many ways to raise awareness for challenges and inspire the actions we need. And one of these ways is through the immense power of film. So I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker, Lindsay Hook, the head of culture for the World Food Forum. And she will be sharing with us highlights from the World Food Forum International Film Competition, also featuring 2 of the winners.
The floor is yours, Lindsay.
Thank you very much to our 3 fantastic young moderators. What we just saw, for me, was first very emotional. Secondly, this is the reason why I do what I do at the World Food Forum. As Michelle said, and our colleagues, I'm the head of culture. Culture for us on our website is defined as film, music, gastronomy, and art. But the true meaning of culture is exactly what we just saw. These people that I have met this week, everyone has been inspiring, but I have to say that the Indigenous youth that I have met this week have made me feel a way connected, not only to the earth, to my work, to the meaning of my work, to the strength of my values that I will fight every single day to make sure are met in everything I do. So I want to thank you for taking a stand, for supporting us, supporting your colleagues. We hear you, and we're going to continue to strengthen everything that you do and make sure that it inspires us in all of our lives. That being said, I would love to thank you all for appreciating our cultural events this week. We've had a fantastic concert featuring some people that you will also see later on. And of course, as they said, we've also had a film festival. So the film festival had 6 winners of different categories. And I'd love to present to you just 2 of those fantastic 6 winners that we've had today. So what we're going to show you now are 2 trailers. One of them is the best focus on the science category, which is a new category this year. And the other one is the best fiction film. In order, they are called The Aghast and Tuna Tales. So let's see them.
O mar é tudo por aqui, porque nós aqui dependemos só dele. Há tempos atrás, pescava, já estão aqui mesmo. Agora tem que andar de bote, barco, umas horas. Não, meu pai disse sempre, cada dia a pesca está ficando mais difícil. Às vezes os barcos fora, aqueles grandes, quando deitam o rede no mar, levam tudo. Fica mais difícil.
Há pouco tempo, há um ano, um jovem pescador que morreu num acidente de bote e o bote foi profundo. Eles ficaram na superfície da água a nadar, mas estavam muito fora a pescar e eles tinham que ficar todos juntos. Então ele separou para ir nadar para a terra e os seus companheiros já não viram ele. Depois que o bote chegou e então ficaram ali em busca.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed these trailers, and I look forward to seeing you all next year for more culture events, more all of the events, and we will be stronger than ever. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay, and congratulations to those exceptionally talented filmmakers and to everyone who took part in this amazing competition. I really believe that powerful storytelling through film can change the world, and it also helps us achieve a world without hunger.
Completely agreed. Going back to the great discussions we have had this forum to advance on achieving a better future for all, it's now time for us to hear about the outcomes of the FAO Science and Innovation Forum.
I think we have a small issue with the mic, but I am also pleased to hand the floor over to Imarine El Arfi, a FAO Chief Scientist, Dr. Rabi Mohta, Professor at the Texas Professor at the Texas A&M University, and Dr. Alice Karanja from the WFF Young Scientists Group, who will be leading the discussion. We are just waiting for the third one. She's coming. Thank you very much. Another member of the panel, thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Young WFP, Young IFED, and Young FAO. And I have two guests with me here. So the way we're gonna do it, I'm gonna tell you a little bit what the Independent Steering Committee got as a summary from the Science and Innovation Forum, and then I'll pass the floor to Rabi, and then to Alice. So I think you agree with me that we had a fantastic week, focusing on science, technology, and innovation. And we got with us some wonderful scientists, but also policymakers, farmers, private sector, civil society. So it was an exciting gathering here. So the FAO Science and Innovation Forum 2022 has represented an opportunity for a broad range of participants to identify and discuss the major obstacles that must be overcome in the quest for transforming our agri-food system based on science, technology, and innovation. There was a consensus that single disciplines on their own are not able to address systematic challenges in a holistic manner. And there is a need for interdisciplinarity, but there's also need for transdisciplinarity. Exactly the same way as we have it as partner or shareholder as the ambassador of Senegal told us yesterday, we need really multiplicity in shareholders, in partners, but also in disciplines. Solution to make problems invariably end up being local. This is the essence of innovation, is doing things at the local level. So we heard a lot of people saying we should think globally, but act locally, because the solution has to have a fit for purpose, and it has to fit the ecosystem, it has to fit the culture. This mindset has to be encouraged and supported. Only in this way can a science product be transformed into a useful application, again, within the context. The FAO Science and Innovation Forum strongly encouraged collaborative endeavor among the global science community and government to support public good in food, agriculture, and nutrition, including weather data, and encourage investment by government in those countries currently experiencing crisis resulting from the current situation. And we all agreed that we have to do it all together, hand in hand. We discussed the new outlook, the Agri-Food System Technology and Innovation Outlook. That is a new knowledge product that is direct outcome of FAO first ever science and innovation strategy, and also the new structure that the DG put in place with the chief scientist and Office of Innovation, which stress again science and innovation in everything we do at FAO. The strategy also emphasized the need for a diversity of innovation, technological, including digital, social, policy, financial, and institutional innovations. And we discussed action on the ground for the two interlinked strategies, the science and innovation and the climate change strategy. So over the last few days, we have discussed in detail why transformation is needed. And I think we all realize it is a must, and we all agree. Those of us that comes from wealthy countries, but also those of us that comes from poorer countries. It will represent a more, if we do so, we can really start walking toward more efficiency, more inclusiveness, more resilient, and more sustainability, so we get to the four better that are the motto of our organization, FAO: better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better life, leaving no one behind. With that, that's what came from the steering committee. I'm gonna give it to Rabi to give us his comment that he was with us all week, he was very active, and I wanna really hear from you, how do you see it from your perspective? How did you perceive the Science and Innovation Forum?
Thank you, Asmahan. Good afternoon, distinguished guests and colleagues. Thanks to FAO leadership and to Asmahan and her team for putting together an excellent forum. Thank you foremost for believing in science as a way forward to bridge that gap that we have been talking about for the last 4 days. Over the last 4 days, I've heard repeatedly that science is there. We only need to disseminate it and put it into good use. It is true that we know much more than what we have been putting into practice. However, there's much more to learn and much more to know. So we need the science agenda to continue and grow and move forward. I suggest that we put forward state-of-the-art knowledge science and knowledge pieces in critical areas of the food and agriculture system, and build on these collections for the future forum, and deliberate how these knowledge gap and these practices and work together on these gaps and knowledge areas. To have an inclusive debate, we need more farmers in the room, and we need more voices of the farmers, that these deliberations can be inclusive, those who are going to save the world forward. Few reflections from the forum. The SDG was all over the discussions, over the sessions and the speakers. The burden now is on the nations to develop plans and targets. With Nexus comes trade-offs. Where do we invest our capital, our human resources, and our natural capital? What are these benefits? And what are these trade-offs? What analytical tools and data we are providing for the less resourceful countries and nations so that they can go through these exercises on their own? Can the FAO help in a global hotspot exercise to screen for global vulnerabilities and identify these low-hanging fruits that can kick off the search for global solutions for resource gaps and targets? National strategies for the SDG plans optimize countries' resources. for desirable outcomes. This would be fine if nations are independent entities. However, due to the interconnected global supply chain, nations are tightly interdependent. In fact, in many cases, the nation plans are in direct conflict with the global agenda. How do we develop a policy coherence on a global scale? And who will take charge of such a role for the benefit of humanity? I leave that question up. And I'm looking at FAO maybe to take a role in that coordination and being that coherence. Let us leave this forum hoping that the next few years will carry benchmarks in science, technology, and global convergence, because what I see today is global divergence in the journey towards 2030. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rabi. And now we're going to look at the forum from the lenses of a young scientist. Alice, over to you.
Thank you, Chief Scientist. All protocols observed. My name is Alice Karanja. I'm a postdoc research scientist at World Agroforestry Center, headquartered in Nairobi, where we ensure planting of the right tree in the right place and for the right purpose. I'm also a member of the World Food Forum's Young Scientists Group, which is an energetic team of young scientists providing scientific evidence and technical knowledge to the various initiatives of the World Food Forum. I'm reminded that we all have a story to tell, and we should never shy away from telling it, especially when we do it to the right audience. I was born and brought up to a smallholder farming community in rural Kenya. While there, I observed and experienced the impact of climate change on agriculture, food security, nutrition, and livelihoods. And this is where I draw my research motivation, inspirations, and insights. We have heard over and again during the course of this week that ensuring adequate nutrition, food security, and sustainable livelihoods in the face of climate change and environmental degradation requires sustainable utilization of the diverse food sources and varieties. For developing countries, particularly sub-Saharan Africa, where I am from, there is often a narrow focus on a few crops that are nutritionally limited, undermining human health and degrading ecosystems and the ecosystem services that they provide, including pollination. And availability of micronutrient-rich crops like fruits and vegetables are often lacking and highly season-dependent. There is therefore need to target diversification of local food systems towards delivering healthy diets. Contextually relevant solutions are needed to increase the nutritional quality of local diets. Collaborating and co-developing agricultural solutions and innovations with the local communities is key. Understanding how production, supply, and demand systems interact is important to scaling success. The Science and Innovation Forum from this week provided a wealth of knowledge and experiences shared by eminent scientists and experts. This is an excellent platform for the youth to interact and dialogue with multitude of actors, including the public, civil society, and private sector, as well as technical experts from a range of global, national, and local institutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, we see you next year. So this is hopefully going to be not one time, it's going to be an annual event. And I hope that next year we will have again with us indigenous people, indigenous scientists, and people from all over the world. Thank you very much for being part of the success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you, Yasmin. I think everyone heard. Save the date. Next year, we're all going to be here. Very interesting discussion, and based on what you said, it's very clear. We have the data, we have the information, we have the technology, and we have the innovation that we need to create the world we all want to see. And that's why platforms such as the FAO Science and Innovation Forum are so important for information sharing, for scaling up innovation, and transforming the world.
Exactly. When we all pool our expertise and our ingenuity across generations, I truly believe that we can tackle the challenges that the world is facing today.
Yes, it's the power of coming together that can make all the difference. Our collective force can be unstoppable, but I will now leave the floor to someone who is a master of words. Next up, we have the poet Victory Ashaka, who has been gracing us with his powerful performances all week. The floor is yours, Victory.
FAO Director General, world leaders, distinguished guests, and all of humankind. Victory Ashaka is my name, a poet, artist, SDGs advocate, and climate activist. I'm happy to join you all here today in what will go down in history through this flagship event. Today, humanity faces one of its biggest challenges in history, which threatens our very existence. We are losing our forests, and people are going hungry because of drought, loss of biodiversity, land degradation, poverty, hunger. Planet Earth is sick. Personally, as a way to collaborate, I did collaborate with 3 other young change makers in my hometown community, Nigeria, to create 17 artworks on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals to raise awareness with Michael, Angela, Oluchi, project directed by Mrs. Foluke Michael. And we created the 17 amazing artworks to create a fusion with SDGs, climate action, and food security. So basically, we are using the artworks to raise awareness, to call on local, national, and global policymakers to act now to significantly reduce climate pollution and to build climate resilience. Because the right time to act is now. No more waiting, no more empty talks. We need an inclusive global effort where every single person contributes. And now is the right time. I also seize this opportunity to call for an intervention to the recent flooding in Nigeria that has killed hundreds of people, led to the destruction of over 200,000 infrastructure, and made 1.4 million people displaced. Definitely, ladies and gentlemen, also as a poet, I've got a spoken word poem for the world. Heal the world. Dear human race, behold the terrain of history to know that our world has no neutral story. From life on Earth, an ecosystem on this planet, we are leaving our carbon footprint like a giant scar and ignoring the warnings, chaos, and instability so far. Every day we see the data and statistics piling up high, yet we easily turn a blind eye despite being faced with the horror of climate change that the oppressed and poor mostly bear the brunt. This social impediment is right before our eyes because we refuse to realize that this fight isn't just to gratify nature, but to preserve creatures for the future. From droughts in Africa to wildfires in Australia, from volcanic eruption in Europe to flooding in Asia, from dry corridors in Central America to hurricane in Hawaii, Honolulu, Philippines, and the Pacifics. Global warming has swept through hectares of land, killed millions of people and billions of native animals, razed entire communities to the ground, taken the homes of numerous families, and left millions of people affected by a hazardous smoky haze of greenhouse gases. Some species and ecosystems may never recover from extinction. The world is burning, and we as descendants of this era must rise to rescue our identities from human frailties. Nature exists so that we may exist along with it. But climate crisis is swiftly becoming the world's biggest catastrophe with disastrous rippling effects. Life on Earth is ecologically regressive through burning coals that melt upon the surface of glaciers and ice shelves. The ocean rises with acid from the deep, polluting the Arctic air of a colorful summer, winter, autumn, and spring. None of this is ascribed to either the white or black, rich or poor, small or great, but all of humankind. Our lifeline of renewable energy is not extending fast enough. We must turn away from the energy of fossil fuel, the energy of death, destruction, and casualty, towards clean, affordable, and renewable, the energy of life and sustainability. Hoisting climate justice is what the world requires, and time is a currency to purchase our desires. With sanitation comes sanity for a healthy living, to transition from being apart from nature to being a part of nature. It is not just about the planet, but saving us. Love nature, that the future may not disappear. Dear human race, let's protect our biodiversity. Arise, all vibrant youth, let's speak the truth to stop deforestation. Rainforests cannot be cut forever, and anything we can't do forever is unsustainable. Let's embrace tree planting for good breathing. The intriguing thing about truth is, although it can be denied but can never be avoided, the earth is warming, creatures are dying, carbon levels are trapping too much heat for us to keep living. Climate change is everyone's problem. Brace yourselves to fight without lifting a sword, together with no one behind for a sustainable world.
Wow. Thank you so much, Victory, for such a powerful and inspiring delivery. And I'm going to go off the script here. Victory is with us, and we believe it. Thank you.
Next up. Next up, I invite Maximo Terrero, FAO Chief Economist, together with his panel to share the outcomes of the FAO Hand-in-Hand Investment Forum. Over to you, Maximo.
Thank you. So before I start, I only have 7 minutes, and I will track my time. But I want to, again, thank Victor and all the youth for the amazing work. So let me invite my panel. This will be a complex virtual real-time panel. So let me invite Dr. Usman Badian, which is here, to join, please. You will be the only one sitting here. And then virtually we have Alberto Soto, President of EMEA region, Alberto Sisto, President of EMEA region CNH, that will be joining us virtually, if we can bring him virtually. So the idea of this week was really amazing. The Director General has this amazing idea of hand in hand 3.5 years ago, and we finally were able to do the litmus test, as I always said. This was our proof that the concept worked. And we were able to do it. But the best way to see what happened is to hear the presidents and the people that came here, the ministers, and the people that came here with us. And we had this idea a few minutes ago, and Daniel Derretin helped us enormously with all the team to build up this little video, which basically what we ask to all the ministers is how will the FAO Hand-in-Hand initiative will impact and benefit your country. So if you allow me, please, let's hear from 3 ministers of what they believe.
C'est la première fois que le Congo participe à l'initiative Main dans la main, et donc nous remercions le directeur général de la FAO pour cette invitation. Je dois dire que c'est une initiative très intéressante dans ce sens que ça nous a permis, nous, Congo, d'analyser autrement un certain nombre de projets, un certain nombre d'initiatives. Et c'est aussi l'occasion de remercier d'ailleurs l'équipe de l'économiste en chef qui nous a permis de voir autrement la problématique du manioc, la problématique du soja, du maïs, de la production de poulet de chair et la question de l'irrigation. Donc vraiment, c'est quelque chose qui va avoir un effet sur la production agricole dans notre pays puisque nous touchons là, grâce à cette initiative, quelques besoins fondamentaux de notre pays.
Pues es importantísimo la iniciativa Mano a Mano en el Ecuador en conjunto con la FAO, porque hay 4 proyectos de inversión, de notas de inversión, por un valor de $45 millones para la agricultura. El sector agropecuario siempre necesita mucho la inversión para poder desarrollarse. En el país representa el 8% del PIB, por lo tanto es muy clave estas inversiones para poder salir adelante.
The food system in Nepal is in transition to market-based food system and confronted with number of challenges associated to climate change, stagnated domestic production, high import dependency on food items, increasing fuel and fertilizer prices to ensure access to safe and nutritious food for all, boost nature-friendly production system, equitable livelihoods, sustainable consumption pattern, and build resilience against vulnerabilities. Against this backdrop, FAO hand-in-hand initiative expected to explore avenues for investment in selected commodities and areas of agricultural development, which will further pave the way for achieving equitable, resilient, and sustainable food system, thereby contributing to poverty and hunger reduction in targeted areas of Nepal.
Thank you very much. So as you can see, things are working, but we are starting. Building up the investment plans took a lot of time. Country reps, all of them came with their countries. The regional director supported us. FAO here in headquarters, the hand-in-hand team, and all the people here that work with us really represent the one FAO. But also the stars were aligned because since the build of the tent, things start to work. And the private sector aligned to us. So it was difficult to make them understand that FAO was different. And let me bring here the private sector and Mr. Executive Chairperson Sisto, please, if you can tell us what was your impression of hand-in-hand.
Thank you all for the invitation. Thank you, Maximo, and thanks to Mr. Director General Chun Tung-Yu for the invitation and the whole FAO's team for the effort put in this World Food Forum at such a turning point in history for the sustainability of agri-food system. It has been an honor for CNH Industrial to take part in this first edition of the Hand-in-Hand Investment Forum, which clearly showed how public and private sector should cooperate. From our perspective, the opportunity we had this week to discuss with government and FAO delegation has been quite unique in matching the production needs with modern solutions. As far as mechanization is concerned, we believe that innovation should be the main enabler to provide farmers with effective solutions to meet production goals and environmental changes. Technological innovation should be the driver for a more efficient use of agricultural resources like soil, water, seeds, and fertilizers, and therefore for an increase in farmer productivity. More specifically, precision farming is a key lever in the reshaping of the agricultural industry for a future that is both more productive and sustainable. As for these days at the forum, an increase in productivity is crucial, especially for those countries that want to achieve a more steady and substitution of importation and ultimately increase the food security for their population. Our commitment then is to be a partner in defining the machineries and the technology that these countries need based on their specific geographical or climatic condition, but also their objective for the development of specific crops. Of course, we do acknowledge that high cost of adoption may represent an entry barrier, especially for those individual farmers and developing countries. Therefore, cooperation with governments and institutional stakeholders is critical to deploy a support scheme tailored on each country's needs to maximize both the investment on new machineries and the outcome of new productions. Furthermore, the partnership we envisage also includes a commitment to accompany these countries in the adoption of new technologies to the transfer of knowledge. The private sector that you mentioned should be the lead in this production. This process for CNH Industrial, we share a well-established experience in turning mechanization into an opportunity of developing modern farming techniques that are key to improve land yield and produce new crops. The access to knowledge also paves the way for an even more important and resilient target, inclusion of people, especially women and younger generation that your colleagues mentioned before. Indeed, the creation of professional development programs alongside the use of new equipment is a powerful tool to offer jobs and learning opportunities. namely for population living in disadvantaged areas, also involving academic and educational partners. In other words, the growth potential given by technology would not be fully deployed and sustained in the future without the empowerment of communities. We have, as private sector, the capacity and the expertise to support the countries in this path, along with governments and institutions. The goal is to identify viable solutions to foster sustainable and resilient food system. Thanks to our membership in the European Agricultural Machinery Association, we have already welcomed cooperation instruments, such as the partnership that has been established with the FAO itself for the promotion of a wider use of sustainable and affordable agricultural mechanization in developing countries, namely the African region. However, this week forum made a big step forward in setting a framework for this public-private partnership to grow, and we are keen to continue to be part of this effort. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So this week, our 20 countries, there were 20 countries presenting their investment plans. There were 3 regional initiatives. They have hundreds of meetings, and there were several commitments. It's just the beginning. Several companies here. This is one example, and we hope we can keep growing, but also bringing civil society and bringing science and innovation, which is what the idea of the meeting of science and innovation. But I bring my friend here, Dr. Ousmane Badiane, which decided to take his own initiative and create Academia 2763, which is based in Rwanda, if I'm correct. And why? Because he was, in this week, in all the forums. So he was in the Youth Forum on Technology. He was one of the referees of the Tech Prize. He was also in the science meeting, science and innovation meeting, and he was also in the investment days. So, Ousmane, the important thing here is to link the dots. So, what can you tell us and how you think we can improve?
Thank you very much, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here and to speak to the audience. What is coming here and what I've seen today, but also since we started working together, is that we're bringing all the different elements that are really needed, not just to have an impact, because we always can have an impact, but to have it in a shorter period of time and to have it at scale and to solve real problems on the ground. So we're bringing data, analytics, technology, decision-making actors, investors, public and private, and youth, with all the different contributions they can make. And I think this is the most powerful way to move forward. The one thing we need to do and to add, we often miss continuity and sustaining efforts. What has been started here is excellent, is something that needs to be continued, maybe not just on an annual basis, but maybe with different sub-groupings and clusters at country level, at regional level, but keep the momentum going, creating the space to bring all these different elements together: data, analytics, technology, investment, leadership of public and private, youth, and others. So thank you and congratulations to FAO for this, and we're very proud to be part of that. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Ousmane. And what we are doing is we are launching our tracker soon that will monitor everything that happened so that we can continue. Of course, we will increase our partnerships. FAO has a private sector strategy, which is moving, and we will continue supporting and bringing science and innovation, of course, with our strategy in science and innovation and climate change. But we also need to take the energy. You know, walking through these corridors in the last week has been amazing. And one of the reasons for that was the youth. The youth was here, dynamism, asking, blocking people, saying, we have a project, we have an idea, we have an innovation. And this has been amazing. And the tent, the indigenous tent that I had to close 2 days ago because they were partying too much, because they were working hard and doing what they do, they know what they are doing. Of course, they are not partying for partying. They are doing very important things. They are the ones that bring the system approach. It was amazing, and that we need to bring it together. We need to bring together the indigenous innovation. We need to bring together the private sector. We need to bring together civil society and the youth. So what I want to do, and with the permission of the Director General, for the next investment week or the World Food Forum, we will bring youth investment plans together with the countries that we have and we will make you part of the roadshows that we develop this year so that you are part of those, and you also fight for your financing, you also fight for your partnership. So let's move forward on that. Thank you so much, and let's do what Usman was saying, and let's move on action because we have a big challenge. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maximo. Thank you, everyone. Investments of all kinds, especially those that elevate the most vulnerable, can make a world of difference. And we've heard this from the chief economist of FAO. And it's encouraging to hear how committed all our partners are to invest in a better future for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. And also it's like very encouraging to hear that we put youth front and center for investing in a better future. So let's start by putting back the youth on stage, and we'll actually start with a musical performance by the talented singer-songwriter Kay Catcher. Please come on stage.
Come on, Kay.
Hello, everybody. I brought something up-tempo for you. I hope you're ready for this. This song is called It's Gonna Be Good.
This beat got me dancing carefree. Oh, na na, eh. It's gonna be fine. Yeah. Oh, times like these aren't carefree. Oh, na na, eh. It's gonna be people in the streets screaming for their needs, but at the same time, only cover their ears like, come here, my little child. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. We stick together through good and through bad times. It will be good. This is your mind. You're a human, and so am I. You're one of us, love. Feel the love. Be kind. Be kind, yeah. Oh. Coexist, coexist. Oh, na, na. Yeah, yeah. Open your mind, no need to resist. Oh, na, na, eh. Just ease your mind. You are just like me. Why don't we work on it? It's gonna be good. It's gonna be oh so good, good. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. We stick together good and through bad times. It will be good. Es wird schon sein. Wir sind Mensch, wir stehen für uns ein. Wir alle eins. Hey, do you feel the love? Do you feel the love? Feel the love? Feel the love? If you feel the love in the room, put your hands together, everybody. 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. Gemeinsam leben in good and in bad times. Hey, it will be good. Es wird schon sein. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. Gemeinsam leben in good and in bad times. Es wird schon gut. Es wird schon sein. Wir sind Mensch. Wir stehen für uns ein. We are one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that spectacular performance, Kai.
Indeed, thank you so much for the performance, but also for the message. It's not all about challenges, it's also about what we can do, what we can create together. So this week has really given us the opportunity to connect to connect people across regions, experiences, and backgrounds, and to engage in an open dialogue. So for the next panel, I would like to continue with the youth. And for the closing discussion, I would like to invite 3 young people to the stage. So I welcome Himaja Nagaredi from the Youth Observer, who is the Youth Observer to the United Nations from the United States. And please come up, Himaja. Then you can invite everyone else.
Thank you all. My dad was a true farmer's boy. Every day, before school, after school, during all his free time, the villagers of Patapalli, India, knew the best place to find my dad would be in the fields. He loved his family's land. It was his ancestral land. It was his home. His father had inherited this from his father, his grandfather from his own father, and so on for generations. The size of the land ebbed and flowed with the severity of seasons. During my great-grandfather's time, our family owned over 100 acres. And during my grandfather's time, we sold a lot of our land due to droughts that kept increasing in severity over years. My dad, in his adolescence, remembered seeing his father invest precious savings in new irrigation systems, trying to make more out of little water available to protect his crops and his family's livelihood. And then he saw those crops fail. Acres and acres of dried orange trees, ones that were grown over decades with love and care, all of them dead. He saw his family struggle in the aftermath. His mom's silverware was sold, the only wealth she had owned for herself. His father struggled to pay for his children's education. His teenage sisters were married off. Household expenses were drastically cut down. They experienced firsthand how extreme climate affected the food they grew and the quality of life they were able to sustain. So let us speak this truth loud here today. Lack of access to healthy and nutritious food diminishes all human rights. Right now, we are so far from where we need to be. 828 million people face hunger worldwide, and 3.1 billion people still can't afford to eat healthy, according to the FAO's report on the state of food security and nutrition in the world. And food insecurity is often the catalyst of the dreaded positive feedback cycle of poverty for underserved communities who already face disproportionate environmental, social, economic, and health burdens. And seen through this lens, food insecurity is one of the greatest injustices of our time, of all time. And this is why we all need to be a part of the UN's global movement to prioritize the eradication of food insecurity. Our participation at this World Food Forum and our engagement with future FAO efforts are crucial because they provide us the opportunity to determine how best to amplify and share our perspectives and concrete ideas with the right leadership. The people sitting in this very room alongside you. And now I am honored to open up a panel featuring Ram Nupani, an esteemed member of our Young Scientists group, and Reem Al-Safar, an exemplary member of the MENA Youth Network. Thank you. Hi, Reem, Ram, it is so great to have you on the stage with us today. I wanted to start off with a question kind of summarizing, your experience with the World Food Forum. So I'm wondering if you can share your key takeaways from this week. And Ram, I'll start with you.
Yes, sure. Well, this week has been fantastic. There are many takeaways, but single must is collaboration is key. Yes, collaboration among diverse group of people, including indigenous people, youths, and women from different backgrounds is a only way forward in tackling food insecurity and developing resilient, sustainable agri-food system in the face of global challenges like climate crisis. Yeah.
Thank you. And I'd love to hear your thoughts too, Reem.
Thank you very much. And I do definitely agree with Ram, especially when it comes to collaboration. But how do we facilitate this collaboration? We need to facilitate also inclusiveness. And for that to happen, for example, if we want to include youth, we have to give them the platform to be able to come and collaborate with everybody. And so young people need resources to be able to be present in these spaces. And their presence is important on so many different aspects, not just for the youth themselves, but also for the space itself. Our inclusion here is very important for the messages being sent in FAO towards COP27, towards other policies being written. And then also it's important for us, when we learn more about policy, when we come from many different backgrounds, by the way. I'm a biologist. There are friends with me who are in communications. There are friends who are in economy. It's not one sector. You don't have to be studying politics to be in this space, and that's the beauty of it. And that's why it's so important for us all to engage and have this exchange of ideas from different perspectives and from different regions, because I also realized that the same issue tackled from the perspective of the global north and from the perspective of the global south is very different, because the causes are also different. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reem. I echo everything that you and Ram have said. My second question for you is, how have you, as part of the Young Scientists Group, Ram, and Mina, as you are part of Reem, how have you been working on food insecurity issues, and what are your future plans as part of these groups? And Reem, we'll start with you.
All right, yeah. So the MENA Youth Network, right now what we're starting with is policy, because we don't have youth inclusion and policy in our region. In the Middle East and North Africa, I can't say if it's even 5% or 10% inclusion of young people in our policy decisions. And so we really want to push young people, because a lot of us have been disenchanted with the lack of response from our governments. And we don't want young people to lose hope, because as hard as it can get, or as you may think that nobody listens to you, us people here who have more experience in these spaces right now, giving platforms to other people is so important. And so now, I don't know if you can see, but we are like, people from my region are a rare breed in these conferences, especially young people. And I'm not talking about just, you know, people on a higher level. Young people, we don't see much in our region. So we had a consultation session, and we had to include people from other regions to fill in the room, because there wasn't enough resources to bring these people. It's not just financial, it's also visas. It's like these accessibility issues as well. It's not just the finance. It's like, okay, the meeting is taking place in the global north, where it's so hard for people for the global south to go there. I have an Iraqi passport. If I had not applied for a mission visa, I don't think I would have gone here on time. So think of that. Think of all the young people who are trying to make it as well. And so we have to take this into consideration when it comes to inclusion as well. And so we've been really helping out we've been collaborating with our colleagues on writing a policy paper, a youth policy paper on agri-food systems transitions, and we're very excited about it. And we really want to discuss these policies because we don't think we have all the answers. We don't, but we're trying, and we really want to talk to people with more experience who can give us suggestions on how to make them better.
That's incredible, and young people are often the subject matter experts, and to use that for bolstering civic engagement and bringing that representation is key. Thank you. Ram, how about you?
Well, I echo your views regarding the visa. I have Nepali passport, and if it wasn't mission visa, I don't think I would have been here. Well, talking about the Young Scientist Group, we are a youth of diverse background with unique experiences across the world. And right now, we are building the team, we are brainstorming, and we are coming up with different ideas to develop a scientific report that will be out early next year. Meanwhile, we are also continuing to support World Food Forum with our scientific expertise, and we are reflecting and working on creating a legacy and setting the way for the next cohort. Finally, we want to create a platform to connect young scientists working on within the agri-food system space. Yep.
Thank you, Raman. It's so incredible what you do with the Young Scientists Group, because oftentimes bridging the gap between young ideas and applying that into science and applying that into the field is so important, and you really facilitate that pipeline. So thank you. All right, and my last question before we are kicked off the stage, how should young people like you be engaged for next year's World Food Forum? And I'll start with you, Reem.
All right, so for me, I think having a youth forum on its own was great. We were able to conglomerate and talk and come up with new ideas and learn from each other. But I think for the upcoming years, engaging youth doesn't have to be separate from engaging other stakeholders. I think young people being seen as an equal stakeholder in these spaces, we want to be in the science forum and we want to be in the investment forum with everyone else. We want to be engaged in every single space. It doesn't have to be, this is the segment for young people and here's what they have to say. No, we want to work with everyone. We want to learn from everyone, and we want to collaborate and look forward, or build ways and mechanisms to look forward to future actions. And we hope that what we're doing right now does not stop here, that it's a continuing process, and we are working on that. Hopefully we have an initiative that's coming in the upcoming few months with everyone else, with all the youth who are here in this week. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just I want to echo your views. We want to be on the table, not just we are youth, but because we are also a valuable contributor at par with other people on the table. Valuable contributors in what sense? Because we can bring fresh, youthful perspective to the table. And second, I want to call everyone to support the local organization. They are the real heroes working on the ground level, and we need to develop their capacity, and we have to invest them in the capacity development. I think we have a very bright future ahead.
Thank you so much, Ram and Reem, for sharing your insights and for being just true change makers for your local communities and for the world. Can we give them another round of applause, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Himaja, and thank you, Reem and Ram. Those are truly inspiring words.
Well, indeed, inclusivity, collaboration are guiding principles of the World Food Forum. And the countless way I've seen people from around the world, including this room, of all ages and backgrounds, all with the same shared vision of sustainably transforming our food systems. I think this is impressive.
I completely agree, Rodrigo. And now it's time to introduce a very special artist, a very special one, especially for me, very dear to my heart. He comes from a special place that is the island of Borneo, where I'm also from, Borneo, Sabah, Malaysia. And we share so many traditions and values, and it's great to see that being represented here today. So please, everyone, please welcome Atama Katama.
Woo! Adil Catalina Bachuramin Kasaroga Basengat Kajibada. I bring you greetings from my beautiful island of Borneo, where we have Malaysia, where we have Brunei, and we have Indonesia. But I have something very special for you. I bring you a vibe from South China Sea. The rhythm is called joget. It means dance. Come and dance with us, indigenous peoples of the world, only for you. Here we go. Woo! Ayo, joget kita. Aduh, itu dia. Malaysia, Indonesia, Polynesia, semua. Hey! Kemusnahan hidup kita akibat penyakit tamak. Mereka yang berlomba untuk permit berlambak. Kemusnahan bumi kita akibat penyakit tamak. Mereka yang berlomba untuk permit berlambak. Kita bersuara kerana sayang. Berjabat tangan mari berjuang. Orang asal pertahan adat budaya orang kita, sayangi warisan tanah. Seluruh dunia kita sudah bersatu, merentasi benua menyambut asal dan usul. Perjuangan kita adalah untuk satu, mempertahankan tanah ibu dan adat budaya. Bumiku semakin tenang dijangkiti kuasa duit, dibuat oleh manusia yang jahil dan berhati pahit. Kerajaan seluruh dunia hanya mampu melihat saja, sesat mencari jalan bagaimana untuk mengobatinya. Kemusnahan hidup kita akibat penyakit tamak. Mereka yang berlomba untuk permit berlambak. Kemusnahan bumi kita akibat penyakit tamak. Mereka yang berlomba untuk permit berlambak. Kita bersuara kerana sayang. Berjabat tangan mari berjuang. Orang asal pertahan adat budaya orang kita, sayangi warisan tanah. Yeah. Ada lagi satu penyakit kronik semua membazir air hingga ia melimpah-limpah. Komoditi kewangan yang melebihi keperluan, maka mereka membina empangan demi empangan. Hutan dicabul, kayu dicabul, tanah diperkosa, sungai pun menjadi kabut. Orang kampung semakin takut dan makin terasa geram kerana meminta tanah warisan yang tidak tenggelam. Kini kita di pentas dunia, jangan hanya melihat saja. Buka bicara pertahan bumi sambil kita joget menari. Ayo everybody, stand up and dance. Come on. Itu dia. Iya. Itu dia. Ayo kita bersama-sama pertahankan bumi. Together we defend Mother Earth. Kemusnahan hidup kita akibat penyakit tamak. Mereka yang berlomba untuk permit berlambat. Kemusnahan bumi kita akibat penyakit tamak. Mereka yang berlomba untuk permit berlambat. Kita bersuara kerana sayang. Berjabat tangan mari berjuang. Kemusnahan hidup kita akibat penyakit tamak. Mereka yang berlomba untuk permit berlambat. Kemusnahan hidup kita akibat penyakit tamak. Mereka yang berlomba untuk permit berlambat. Kita bersuara kerana sayang. Berjabat tangan mari berjuang. Orang asal pertahan adat budaya orang kita, sayangi warisan tanah. Orang asal pertahan adat budaya orang kita, sayangi warisan tanah. You are all the defenders of Mother Earth. Congratulations to all of you, and especially to my dearest brothers and sisters who has traveled all the way from their indigenous territories where they protect land, territory, resources, and biodiversity. Join me in checking out their dance move. It's like this. Terima kasih.
Wow! Thank you so much, Otama. What a powerful performance, but also what a powerful message, or what powerful messages you have had for us today. And we have heard many powerful messages, but we also have people with us in the room who are collaborating with us across generations and cultures to work together to bring about the change we've been asked for today. So the people I'm talking about are representatives from the Rome-based agencies of the United Nations. And here in Rome, we have everything related to food and agriculture, and we have representatives with us from the Food and Agriculture Organization, from the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and from the World Food Programme.
Together, these three agencies offer a vast range of knowledge, financial and technical expertise, and international recognized forums for discussing policy issues and implementing projects related to food security, agriculture, and nutrition.
Yes, and I'm now very honored to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Satu Santala, Assistant Vice President at the International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD. Ms. Santala, the floor is yours. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you so much, and what a hard act to come after that one. I'm sorry, I don't have proper entertainment for you, just a small boring speech, but life is. Anyway, dear audience, it is a huge honor to be here today and to be part of the session where we've been looking back to what's been discussed and learned over the past 5 days. First of all, let me congratulate colleagues at FAO and all co-organizing institutions for putting together such a fine event and for the enormous amount of work that's gone into preparing and pre-consultations as well. But especially, I really want to thank all of you, the participants from youth, indigenous groups and associations, from the private sector, from academia, and for the wider science community for making it such a dynamic event. You guys have really been the talk of the town this week. I don't have to tell you how difficult the current situation is. We're dealing with the impacts of the global impacts of the war in Ukraine, the COVID-19 pandemic still, and the increasingly severe effects of climate change and extreme weather events. All this in the context of increasing costs of food and energy and growing public debt. But transforming food system and achieving sustainable development goals in the face of these challenges is really daunting, but at the same time, all the more urgent. But what you have shown is that we also have hope. There are opportunities for inclusive development, and that we can work together and we can act together. And I'm even more encouraged now to think that there is a common future that we can shape together. So what to do to get there? When I think about the conversations that have happened over the past few days, it is clear that we all agree there's a need to scale up investments in agri-food systems, to base our interventions on science and innovation, and to involve the voices of youth, indigenous peoples, and marginalized communities in decision-making and action. So we all agree. Now, the simple task is to find a way to act, advocate, and influence. At IFAD, we will continue to do this. We focus on inclusive rural development towards sustainable and resilient food systems to eradicate hunger and poverty. IFAD as an organization is an assembler of development finance. We bring together finance. We are finding new ways to bring more investments to where they're most needed. We provide loans and grants to governments, we build co-financing arrangements, and we're developing our links with the private sector, both by facilitating private sector lending to our projects and by investing in private sector entities to multiply development impact. So what I would like us to do is to carry the energy of this forum with us, as our youth delegates have so forcefully told us to do, and that we would jointly advocate for more financing for agri-food systems going forward. And that we also make that financing more effective by harnessing the power of science and innovation. At IFAD, the way we do this is we base our programming on the latest scientific evidence, and we also run our rigorous impact assessments to know what works and what doesn't. And we also focus on innovations that involve and impact rural people directly, including through our own innovation challenge. But perhaps most importantly, when we look at the path ahead, we must continue to strive for inclusive development and resilience for all. Therefore, it's so important to include the voices of those whose future is at stake. The small-scale producers in drought-hit areas, the young farmers in conflict-ridden zones, women entrepreneurs in small island states, indigenous peoples in forested areas that are in danger of disappearing. So let's continue to push for ways to include their experiences and contributions in decision-making and bring their voices at international stage, as has been so skillfully done this week. As one of the examples how we at IFAD will continue to do that, we've set up a grassroots approach for connecting youth or young people's voices to governance, design, and project delivery in the work we do. And to understand and address their priorities from the bottom up, we're working with more than 40 rural youth organizations and their respective membership in Colombia, Rwanda, Morocco, and Senegal. Some of the young people from these organizations are here with us today. So let me just close by reiterating the importance of increased investments in food systems, informing action through science and innovation, and of harnessing the tremendous potential of young people. The discussions and outcomes of the World Food Forum are really very highly relevant for the challenges we collectively need to see at the global scale, and it's been really inspiring to hear this week's discussions as well as this session today. And I would really like to encourage the young people in particular to continue to leverage fora like this, to make your voices continuously heard, to translate advocacy into action, and remind those in power that it's not only our responsibility to listen to future generations, but also a massive opportunity, and you really have shown that to be the case. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Satu. This was great, and it was really important to hear what IFAD is doing and how IFAD is already investing and empowering people to increase their food security and strengthen their resilience. And yes, as you said in the end, we completely agree with you. We have to engage young people in the transformation of our agri-food systems. It is a tremendous opportunity.
Next, I am pleased to hand over the floor to Mr. Arif Hussain, Chief Economist and Director of Research, Assessment and Monitoring of the World Food Programme. He will be giving his address on behalf of the Executive Director of WFP. Over to you, Mr. Hussain.
Good afternoon, everybody. Greetings from David Beasley. You know he's a champion of hunger, but he's also a champion of the youth. Let's face it, hi DG. Let's face it, when WFP sets records, that's not a good thing for the world. And what we have seen, that in 2020 we set a record, we fed 116 million people. In 2021, 128 million people. And this year, we intend to reach 152 million people. Why? And I'm sure you've heard all of these numbers one by one throughout this week. But let me put them all together. We talk about chronic hunger, 828 million. We talk about acute hunger, 325 million. We talk about wasted children, 50 million. We talk about stunted children, 150 million. We talk about poverty, more than 700 million people. We talk about displaced people, 100 million. We talk about healthy diets, 3.1 billion people. This is our world in 21st century. This is the problem we are dealing with. And it is all happening when we know the solutions. And we have to remember that behind all of these statistics, there are real people. There are real children. And if we forget that and we just look at this as numbers, we lost the plot. We lost the game. And I think we need to understand that. Let me give you a couple of more examples here. In our data, we talk about, first 1,000 days are critically important because if you don't get nourished in the first 1,000 days, you never recover from that in terms of your full productivity. Then we talk about 150 million stunted children, wasted children, children all over the world. Of our 345, half are women and children. What does that mean in terms of inequality going forward? It's not a pretty picture. But you know what? The positive is all of this. We do know what to do. We had science and technology. We have all the technologies. We even don't have an excuse of saying that, we don't know, because our technologies, whether through space, whether through cell, allow us to see what is happening. So if we can see it, but we don't fix it, ignorance is no excuse. It is our responsibility. Another debate you will hear quite often is humanitarian versus development. Saving lives versus changing lives. These are not either or. These are and. And these are not about one agency or two. It is about all of us. Because if we don't, we pay. And we pay 1,000 times more as we are. So what is important? Save lives, meet urgent needs, build people's human capital, invest in education, invest in nutrition, invest in resilience, ensure sustainability by working with the governments. We cannot fix things from outside. Governments have to be in the lead and provide services which are needed. Do it on time, and we can get somewhere. But then, on the side, gender matters. Accountability to our beneficiaries matters. Technology matters. Environment matters. Nutrition matters. These are not words. All of these have to come together if we are going to get where we need to go. Remember, the world has been before in bad places, bad situations, and we did learn lessons from that. What do we need? We know the science, we know the technology. We do need political will. We do need investments. We do need partnerships. We need the private sector, not because it's nice to say it. We cannot do it without them. And you know what? You're not going to fix it in a day or a month or a year. So you need sustained commitment. You have to stick with this till the job is done. And if you are not going to, if we, me, we, us, are not going to do it for ourselves, let's do it for you guys, the young people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arif. Working for the World Food Program myself, I cannot emphasize more the importance of hearing your statement on behalf of the Executive Director. And we applaud the work that WFP is doing to use food to build pathways to peace, stability, and prosperity for people recovering from the war, from conflicts, from disasters, and from the impacts of climate change.
Yeah, exactly. Chiming in on that one. But now I would like to pass the floor or invite to stage the Director General of FAO himself, who will deliver the closing address of this year's World Food Forum flagship event. Over to you, Director General.
Hi, dear colleagues, young friends, young at heart. I'm a little between. I start saying that I appreciate all the efforts from my colleagues, led by two chiefs, chief economist, chief scientist, fully back up the 3 DDGs and the ADGs, D1, D2, down to the G staff, and even the cleaner service, food providers service, and all the security people here. You know, we are happy to have leaders. You know, once one president comes, it's created a lot of security pressure to my colleagues. Not only in FAO, in Rome, in Italy, not only here, and also in the airport, everywhere. When we start enjoy, when we start the meeting, and don't forget, a lot of silent heroes support us, not only in Italy, Rome, all over the world, because we have more than 200 events on the ground, on the national level, sub-regional, regional levels. That's why the other day I shared my advice with the young people. You look, you see, we are really appreciate the poet and the dancer or indigenous people, your own lamplight, and the chiefs, also myself. Of course, I have to do. It's my duty. But not so many people should or have to do that. I started saying that. And also, even the ambassador, councillors, because we encourage you, invite your leaders, your ministers, vice ministers, private sector, civil societies to come. It's additional job for you. You get your term of reference, come to Rome to work only to fight in the governing body meetings. But we do want to have those kind of real business to bring the members and shareholders work together for farmers, for consumers, of course, for our members. That's why I started saying that. I know after that so exciting time, as my colleague from IFAD said, it's a little boring for you, but you need a cooling down, calm down. You can't keep 24 hours like that, and your heart speed will be too fast. It's not good for young at heart. Maybe it's good for your young, real young friend. So when I started addressing, that's my 18th speech, officially. During the past 5 days, I had more than 40 private bilateral meetings. And also from there in the morning at 6 o'clock until 10 or 11 p.m. It's also additional. It's not on the contract with my term of reference when I win the election as FFDG. But I'm happy, busy to do so. And also last week already, That's 2 weeks high season for FAO. Of course, include the sister agency, IFAD, WFP, and others. I really sincerely thanks for your cooperation, to your efforts, and for all, especially people from fire. It's not easy to traveling this time. So, as a Asian philosophy, saying that we have a good start, and now it's a part of a new start. It's not the end. So that's a cycle. Huh? A lot of people say the end or closing. No, I'm not going closing remark. I'm going to another new start point. That's why a clear message as a chief economist, chief science said that we will improve, for sure. It's evolution. Evolution of transform FAO. It's evolution transform for business model to fit the purpose of FAO and RBA. I'm so happy to see the new president of IFAD is come back as a professional post. As I waiting for all these RBAs working in the same professional mode. Because remember, farmer, consumers need deliverable, countable, reliable, professional information service and all this deliverable service on the ground. If you agree, give me an applause. Now, World Food Forum comes the real stage. Not only for me, not only for two chiefs or RBA friends, colleagues, for all of you, cross the generation, cross the sector. As I said so many times, I don't want to repeat all this boring, long sentence. My native language is not English, so from the civil society, farmers organization, consumers organization, up to the politician. President, Prime Minister, Minister, Vice Minister, you name it. And also international head, and also the private sector, of course. It's real exercises of a coherent work together. That's a real break silos. We don't need silos. Any small problem happening in the small corner of the world, we need a coherent synergy and agile, efficient, effective service for our customers. I said the customers, different people, different groups. I'm so inspired by your collaboration, leadership, and inclusiveness, and coherence. And I'm impressed by many ways of policy, science, and technology, innovation, and investment. They have converged to spark the action we needed to for the better future. You know, when we was very young kids, we played the firework. What is the most beautiful part? When the fused sparkling. When the fused sparkling, and they start a beautiful firework. And these days we had a sparkling experience in New York, just as eve of the American Nation. So many years I didn't see that so beautiful firework show in New York. Also in even other parts of the world. So fused sparkling, it's the real momentum to bring all the friendship, cooperation, and the solidarity together. The future, I always believe, brighter. But under the condition, collaboration, solidarity, especially by feeling the energy from a young, dynamic generation. I saw all the young at heart people are dancing even more happily than the young people themselves. If you don't believe it, I'll show you the video now. I met. Because you didn't realize how you are happy. You unleashed yourself back to 20, 30 years ago. I never saw the Laurent laugh so deeply from the heart. Yeah, not from the heart, from the niche. What he controlled the hacking so many years, climbing in this small cold room from P2 to DDG. It's not easy. Yeah. But you need time to, to unleash yourself and help the people. That's the real power of innovation. That's the real power of creativity. So, dear friends, colleagues, it's just start. I say it again, just start for young people, young kids, they're about 5 years old. I met them, and up to 25, 20, and now 65, some even 85. Yeah. Now, because the Holy Father is 86. So, but you see, Holy Father never pretended to be senior people. He always followed the movement of innovation. We had, 3 years ago, we had AI, Roman call for AI. Yeah? You can imagine? So it's not a matter of age. It's a matter of a way of your openness. You are learning by doing. You are doing by learning. And you are aware of willing to learn for your whole life. Because wisdom not only comes from knowledge, wisdom comes to the process with knowledge and experience. That's a real interaction. Knowledge interact of experience leads to wisdom. But we need a process. What is the process for that knowledge and wisdom? It's thinking deeper, not follow some misinformation, some fragment information. Nowadays, we face a digital world, easily to be misled by misinformation, fragile information. So we need a systematic thinking, a systematic process your information, come to the wisdom. I thank you all, and keep this moment once a week, once a month, once a year at least. And next year, if we check the calendar, 16th October is a Monday. So welcome some young from far, you can arrive here Saturday. And then you enjoy the Sunday here, and we prepare yourself for Monday, World Food Day that week. We show you safe, happy, and health life with yourself, with your beloved, and with your relatives and your human being comrades. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director General. Truly inspiring words. And thanks also so much for the invitation already, or for the invitation this year, because after all, it is the Food and Agriculture Organization that has hosted us all of this week. So one round of applause for that. And also, thanks for the invite next year, starting from World Food Day.
Yes, thank you for your call to action for us to work together towards a sustainable agri-food systems, but also for being a champion of the World Food Forum and for inviting us to hold this year's World Food Forum at FAO headquarters.
It has been super inspiring indeed. So let's go over to one more inspiring musical performance. I'm already welcoming on stage here Lea Brückner, and she's going to perform the final piece of this World Food Forum. Yeah, so I guess they're still setting up, so we'll give them this one more moment. And in the meantime, also reflect a little bit upon the fact that the Rome-based agencies have really told us that they're already working on the topics that have moved us around this week. And it's very great to hear that, and it's also very great to hear the commitment that they'll continue to engage the youth, the indigenous people, and all of us in their dialogues, in their projects, in their decision making. So that is wonderful. So while Leah is getting ready, if she gives me the sign, I'll hand you over to her. All right. One round of applause.
Wow. Wow. What a. Wow, what a musical statement and what a highlight to finish on. I can't believe that Wilfer Forum is really over. It has been quite an incredible week, exceeding some expectations. And before we close, I also just wanted to highlight again what the young people have said today, and also from Reem sharing how we should be engaging with Next Year for the Wilfer Forum to treat us as experts and individuals and true stakeholders in the forum going forward.
Yes, Michelle, and you're right. You said that the World Food Forum Week is over, but this is not the end. This is just the beginning of a bigger transformation that is going to happen. It's going to take place once we leave the floor, we leave this room, and we start talking about this in preparation for next year's event. So I just want to thank you, everyone, for joining us, for joining the call, for supporting the organization of this event, and for being part of this movement with us.
Yeah. Exactly, and there is someone else who would like to extend that thanks with us and who will do the official closing of the World Food Forum 2022. And he is the World Food Forum coordinator, Mr. Kazuki Kitaoka. Woohoo!
Oh!
Kazuki, you've been working tirelessly behind the scenes and on stage, so please go ahead.
No, thank you so much, and it's wonderful to work with the three RBA youth networks from the from the. Please come. We're the main event now.
At the main stage. Yeah.
So no, thank you so much, the youth networks from the three agencies that have been volunteering their time, their efforts, their blood, their nights, sometimes their relations with their supervisors, sometimes their weekends, and I hope never their relationships, to help this forum to come together. 200 sessions this week. I don't know how many hours this was. More than 2,000 people here in Rome talking about food security, the future of where we want to go is, I think, an incredible achievement. It is not my achievement, it's the achievement of the young volunteers that have been working on this. And we're talking here about really a lot of volunteers, and yes, volunteers. It's not a professional staff that we have here. It's a very small core team, and then a lot of volunteers that have been working on this. Thank you, sir, for volunteering as well.
Only walking, yeah?
And thank you. And of course, these volunteers came from different parts of the organizations. For the Youth Forum, we had volunteers from really all of the three agencies, but also for the Science and Innovation Forum, we had volunteers in the core team that was working tirelessly on bringing this together, and of course the hand-in-hand investment team that was also I think, sleepless over the last weeks with so many presidents and ministers coming to this city talking about food security. And really not last but not least, and I think this will probably stay in our memories, the Indigenous Youth Forum and the Indigenous Buasu Food Lab that was putting a tent outside a sacred space for the Indigenous Youth Council, coming together, talking about Indigenous issues, and exchanging with all of us their concerns, but also their solutions, as we saw before. And of course, I have to thank also all the partners of side events, organizers, speakers, panelists, people who have been doing exhibitions, of course, the interpreters, many hours, many over hours. Thank you very much, interpreters. The production teams, the tech teams, the building management, those people who have been feeding us in the cafeterias. Very big thanks to security, also for some of the flexibility that we were given during the week, and corporate communications, of course, that has been helping us throughout, front office from throughout the FAO teams, sponsors from group like the Office of Small Island and Landlocked Nations, who brought here people from the indigenous communities. But also, of course, the entire senior management team from FAO. Without this support, this would not have been, of course, possible. And now last, but definitely not least, thank you, Mr. Director General, for trusting us, the youth groups, with this big project and with bringing this alive. Without money, but still with a lot of people. And I would like to actually ask those who are here and who can leave their stations and the different places also to join here on stage, just to give some of the faces. And of course, we can't name all of the people who were involved, so we did a little video here. You will see the... And of course, there are many more, and we have them here on the screen. You can think, you can guess what the inspiration was for putting here the credits into this form. We of course can't name all of these people, but yes, thank you again, Mr. Director General, and please, for your work.
I decided, because I inspired that the English-speaking portrait. I'm not famous in China, but I made myself famous as a portrait, and I can't stop to give the surprise gift to the young team here. Special poem for you. 青春永驻. I already asked my colleague translator just 1 hour ago. I also tested their interpretation ability. 青春永驻，世界农夫。2022年10月21日，写在 WF 闭幕后。青春点燃新火炬，4个更好开新局。粮食论坛知思义，创新投资促转型。五洲四海同频谱，万众一心诸共振，开放包容同理心，互帮互助手拉手。罗马欢迎原住民，安营扎寨烟火兴，全军送宝画古今，青春万岁赤向心，男女老幼齐努力，激情燃烧暖众生，人间大爱度艰辛，打造命运共同体， 潇湘风骨楚天行，地中海边洗风雷。信诚圣人明圣理，总统、总理、总干事。江山千秋靠民生，良农万代有使命。衣食无忧寒食乐，天蓝地绿万里晴。这是我和我的同事从2019年从概念到策划，得到了粮农青年委员会、粮农妇女委员会，把我的概念变成了真正的作品。所以这个 WFP 今年含了3个主题 ：Youth Action in Agri-Food, Science and Innovation, and High Initial Investment。原住民的帐篷搭在了粮农的大门口，青年的艺术作品，创新的展览，好一派热闹。亚非拉的贵宾和广大的朋友，特别是科技人员最高兴。所以相聚来年，更创辉煌。谢谢。Now all your guys on the stage, you have no interpretation, so you will see the FL website with Chinese and with English and other FL languages translation. I hope they can translate what I say, because it's a very classical Chinese poem. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. Relax.
Thank you very much. And one last time, the anthem of this year's forum for closing off. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
The anthem, please. They should play the anthem.
Music.
We go?
Music.
There you go.
Are we listening? Are we planting seeds and finding better ways to build a better world? Find a better way to build a better world. Oh, there's a brand new Are we planting seeds and finding better ways to build a better world? Find a better way to build a better world. Oh, there's a brand new generation. Oh, for a brand new healthy world. Yeah, yeah, for a healthy world. Yeah. All together.